everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today's video is all about brushes. I've had a couple of requests for a basic brushes 101 video. This is more for older people who are kind of new to makeup or have always relied on what they used when they were younger and it's suddenly not working anymore because their skin is different. In this video, I'm just going to show you the things that I like. I've done a lot of comparisons and a lot of explorations, and I found things that work for me and for my older skin and for older people's issues. I don't like to pay a lot for brushes, but I have to say I have received some more expensive brushes, and in some cases it seems like they might be worth the money. All right, so let's get started. Over here is where I have my big brush collection. I didn't pay for all of these. Some were sent to me by companies. This is basically how I store my brushes. I bought these. These are little ceramic plant pots. I got these at IKEA for like a couple bucks a piece. This one has this, I don't know if you can see the pattern on there. It has this nice little pattern, and this is where I store all of my big brushes. I tend to separate my brushes out by size, so I keep all the big ones in here. So this would be all the foundation and powder brushes. And then I keep all my eye brushes in this other pot, which is also from IKEA, and this one is a slightly different pattern, along with a few other things thrown in. You see, here's my jar scraper, and I've got my readers in there, and my little scissors, and my zit zapper. So I have all kinds of junk in here, but these are not my everyday brushes. My go-to brushes I keep separately. The favorites I keep just in this little guy. And what's nice about this came with an It Cosmetics brush set. Now the nice thing about this container is that it's divided. So I keep my eyeshadow brushes on this side and I keep my face brushes on this side. So if you're looking for a basic set, the ones that I find that are nice and inexpensive to get are at Target. Sonia Kashuk has nice brush sets. They're in the range from $10 to $30 depending on how nice the brushes are. And then e.l.f. has some little brush kits that are cute. It Cosmetics, that I'm going to touch on, also has great brush kits on their website. Real Techniques has nice brushes. And then, you know, I've never bought Sigma brushes. I know everybody on YouTube talks about their Sigma brushes and uses their Sigma brushes in all their videos. And you know what? I just assumed that they were super expensive, and so I never even went out and looked on there. A nice starter set of eyeshadow brushes that looks really good for about $65 or $70, and then you can get another nice starter set of face brushes for another, say, $65, $70. Like I said, I've never tried them personally, so I don't know how they compare to these other brands of brushes, and maybe if you've used you know, the It brushes and the Sigma, or the Real Techniques and the Sigma, you can put a comment below and just kind of help to steer people on what to get if you're thinking of getting a starter kit of brushes. Alright, so let me talk about some of my favorites. First I'm going to start with the It Cosmetics brushes because they are truly my favorites, and I feel like the ones that have really changed how I've been able to apply makeup. The It Cosmetics brushes that I have, I got one kit that they sent me that came in here. This is called their Heavenly Luxe 6-piece vanity brush set. Some of them have become some of my favorites. The eyeshadow brushes are really what it's worth it to get this kit for. This retails for $49.50 and it's only available on QVC. So of the kit, you get these 6. These two I really don't use, although this is a nice spoolie, and if you do a lot of push brushing, this is a great brush. I've never been able to figure out how to use a flat top foundation brush, so those I just don't use, so that's why those two are over in the pile of not so used brushes. This one is fantastic for finishing powder. I love this brush. It's my all-time favorite finishing brush, but these are really the ones that have changed my life as far as eyeshadow is concerned. These are the It Cosmetics No Tug eyeshadow brushes, and what's great about them is they really don't tug. So, you know, if you have the crepey eyelid skin, which, you know, if you're over 50 or whatever, you probably do, and it's hard to put your makeup on because if you have a stiffer brush, it skips across the creases as you drag it across, and most people put on their eyeshadow in like a rainbow motion. I do find it helps to kind of do it in an up and down motion, but these don't tug as much. So these are all synthetic fibers. They're cruelty-free brushes. When I was just looking online, I saw on a Sigma, that Sigma eye kit that I just talked about, the brushes looked very similar to these, especially this one, which I use daily. If you have hooded eyes, you really need to try to kind of fake a crease and make it look like this part of your eye, the part that puffs forward, is receding. And in order to do that, I like to pick like a light to medium shade of flesh tone, and I put that all over my eyelid above the crease, but I have to bring it up really high, so a smaller brush doesn't really do that efficiently for me. So I need a nice big brush to kind of put that base color down, and then I need a smaller brush to work in the definition around the crease. This brush I use to lay down my paint pot, which is what I use as my primer every day. I tend to use a MAC paint pot in Painterly. So this is just a flat, kind of tall but soft, stiff bristle brush, and this works great with things that come in a pot. So color tattoos and your paint pots, those kind of things, you just dip it in and then you can just paint it on your eyelid, and that leaves a great finish with no brush marks and no weird crepiness and no weird creasiness. So these are great. So that's the one kit that you can get from IT Cosmetics that's reasonably priced to get a nice bunch of brushes. There's another kit that's called the full-size 7-piece micro airbrush blurring brush set with stand, and that is on QVC as well for $59.50. It's also on the IT website. Now that one, I think if I was buying it, I would lean towards that one because the powder brushes look better than what you get with this kit, and the eyeshadow brushes look pretty much the same, and it has the vanity stand, so you have all your brushes right there. But the IT Cosmetics brushes that I love the most are the ones that come with the Celebration Foundation. And if you watch any of my other videos, you know that I'm absolutely in love with the Celebration Foundation. When you buy it initially, it comes with a brush. These are the brushes that came with them. I think it's this one that it comes with, and this is a great brush. These things are so soft and so dense and just so, in general, wonderful. And these are really, for me, the best buffing brushes that I've used out of, this whole set of things that I've tried. And what I like about this one is it has the little concealer end, so I rub it in the foundation, and then I do my concealing around the edges of my nose and up in here, and, for whatever zits I have. And then I go in with this side. It doesn't take a ton of buffing. It looks great right away. It makes just about every powder foundation I have go on better than it does with the standard buffing brush that I was using before. So now moving on to Real Techniques brushes. Now these are the ones that are made by the girls at Pixie Woo. In their brush line, I have the eyeshadow shading brush. This one retails for $6, and I got it at my grocery store. Then I have the blush brush, which is this big one, and this one is $9. And then we have the stippling brush, which is a flat top. This one is $10. And then the setting brush, this is smaller, this is $8. All right. So of these four, the only one that I really don't like that much is the eyeshadow brush. Because I'm spoiled by those IT Cosmetics brushes, this one is very short, very dense, and it doesn't have much give to it. It doesn't just glide across. What I do find that it's good for is for doing the highlighting under my brow. When I want to use a liquid foundation and put it on with a stippling brush, this is the stippling brush that I use all the time, right? So that's the stippling brush. This is a really nice one. I love the shape and size of this one. I especially love it for doing contouring with bronzer. I do under here and a little bit up here, and so that is a great brush that I love as well. And then this little setting brush is really just the perfect size for applying just a little bit of finishing powder or setting spray right there. Okay, another brand of brushes that I really like, they come from Target, are the Sonia Kashuk brushes. The one brush of Sonia Kashuk's that I really love is this crease brush. Now this is $5.99 at Target, and this is the perfect crease brush for me, and I have yet to find a blending brush that I like better than this. Once you've got the color on there, then you just take this and you use this to blend it out so that you don't have any hard edges. The one brush that I have been on the hunt for is the perfect little crease brush for doing that outer V, because I feel like this is the technique that has really changed the way that I've applied eye makeup to my hooded eyes. Finding the right brush to do it is what really made the difference between success and failure. Before, the only crease brush I had was the one that came in my Costco kit. And this one's fine, but it's a little stiff. So I've been on the hunt for something to replace this one. And so here are the contenders that I found. As you can see, they're all roughly the same size brush head, but with slightly different shapes. The first one that has not been terrific is the e.l.f. contour brush. Okay, so this would retail for about $1. This one is so stiff. The next one, woman at Sephora sold me this one. It is the Buxom Crease Brush. This one was $17. But this one also is very stiff. I had okay success with it. Like, I was getting better. Each one helped me to make it a little bit better, but this one just didn't quite cut it. So I kept looking. So then I was at Ulta, and I saw this line called Japonesque Brushes. And so I bought this one. It's the Professional Eyeshadow Crease Brush. This one is $18.50. And this one had become truly my favorite. This is just the right level of softness and doesn't really cause much tugging. But then a lovely company out of Japan approached me and asked me if I would like to try some of their brushes. And so I said, sure, why not? And this is a brand called Chikuhodo. And this one is, like, I am totally in love with this brush. So here it is. Okay, so here's the size difference between them and how this one is pointy and longer. So having the bristles be slightly longer and go to a point is just the ticket. It picks up just the right amount of color, and then you can really just draw and shape your line however you want it. I'm just going to go on rhapsodizing about how beautiful this brush is. Now for the size, this is definitely the most expensive brush that I own, although, you know, I told you already I didn't pay for it. But this little guy is $45. This one is made from 100% gray squirrel, and it's handmade by Japanese artisans. Now the Chikuhodo brushes are available in the US on a website called Now eProject, and I'll put all the links below to where you can find all of the brushes that I've shown here today, although, like I said, not affiliated, not selling, just showing you what has worked out for me. Really, if I had to just break it down to the ones that I use every single day, it would be these 8 brushes. So that's what you could look for in a basic kit if you're using powder foundation. If you're using a liquid, I like the blending sponge, so that wouldn't be in this video, or I like the Real Techniques stippling brush. Now let's move on to the care and keeping of your brushes. So I used to wash my brushes with just the hand soap that was at my sink, and then I would just lay them flat on a towel to dry. Then a friend of Michelle at Makeup MLC got in touch with me, and she sells these brush cleaning trees, and she asked if she could send me one, so I said, sure, go ahead. And boy, am I glad she did. I love this thing. This is a company called Benjabel, and I'll put that link below as well. She sent me the smallest brush tree that they have, which is the Daisy. And here it is. So this is a very compact little brush tree. It holds 14 brushes, and this retails for $19.95, so it's not expensive. It comes flat. The packaging is beautiful. They also sent me their brush cleansing balm, and this is all organic cleansing balm. So check them out if you want. And when you're done using this, it just comes apart really easily. You put it flat on your counter and you just pull these guys out, and then they just slide together. So when you're not washing your brushes, it folds up to really flat. You can just stick it in your vanity drawer, and you don't have the big brush tree sitting there taking up all the space on your counter. All right, so let me bring in the video of me washing the brushes just to give you a little instruction on how you care for them, and then I'll be back. Now we're in my bathroom and we're all set to start cleaning brushes. You can use just standard hand soap, whatever comes out of your dispenser, a bar of soap, you can use shampoo, as long as it's a gentle cleanser. You just wet your brush, aiming the bristles down, because you don't want water to go back up where it can then get in there and rust and do damage. You just kind of, swirl it in there, and then in the palm of your hand, you just basically paint the brush back and forth. And as you can see, all the makeup's coming off now. Rinse the brush again with the bristles facing down, and if you just kind of pull the bristles apart and fan them a little bit, kind of like this in the water, that helps to get all the soap out from all the interior bristles. Then when I'm done, I just kind of give the brush a couple of good shakes, and as long as the water comes out clear, then I know it's completely clean. And then on most of the other ones, I just like to reshape them a little bit. And then I just stick it in the brush tree upside down, where it will just stand up to dry. So let's do a few more. See how when I splatter that, all that color comes out? And then after I rinse it, and just give it a little squeeze, then I give it another flick just to see if the water's coming out nice and clear. And it is. And then, since this is a fat one, it has a perfect spot for that one in the brush tree. And then we're done. Nice clean brushes ready to go next time. Alright, so just to wrap it up, if you are someone who's new to makeup and you're looking for a basic brush kit to start you off, I would look at, depending on your price point, I would definitely look at the Real Techniques brushes. Those are great. I would look at the It Cosmetics brush kits on QVC, and I would look at maybe the Sigma brush kits. But I think the kits are nice because you start buying one-offs and then it gets pretty expensive. So if you get a nice kit, usually they'll come with a nice carrying case or a travel case, but really this is what I use on a day-to-day basis. And that may seem like a lot for people who are new to makeup or haven't used it a lot. This may seem like a ton of brushes, like, oh my god, what do I do with all those? But just tune into YouTube, watch a lot of the tutorials, and they'll show you how to use the brushes. Especially if you're older, watch older people who can show you how to apply so that it actually takes into account our crepey skin and gives techniques for those, which I will link a bunch of my videos below in case you want to watch those. That's pretty much all the information that I had to share on brushes. I'm very basic in what I look for. I want them to be soft, I want them to not be itchy, I want them to not shed, and I don't want them to be terribly expensive. The softness, I think, is the key with older skin. You don't want a lot of pulling your skin all over the place. And so happy shopping for brushes if that's what you're going to go out and do. And if you have any other brushes that are favorites, I'm sure that you'll let us all know below what they are. And that's it for the video for today. Thanks for watching, everybody, and take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.